everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping right into the world of C# to get a handle on two super important keywords, const and read-only. You can think of them as these steadfast guardians for our code. Now, they both create values that don't change, but how and when they do it, well, that's where things get interesting. All right, so picture this. You're deep in your code and you need a value that's just set in stone, something that can't be tweaked or changed by accident down the line. C# gives you two great tools for this right out of the box. But this brings up a classic developer question. Do you go for const or is read-only the right tool for the job? Getting this right is honestly key to writing solid, easy-to-maintain code. Okay, first up, let's talk about the unmovable object, the unchanging pillar of your application, the const keyword. The phrase you really gotta lock in here is compile time. A const value is set when your code is compiled. That's before anyone even hits run. It literally becomes a part of your application's DNA, and from that point on, it is absolutely 100% unchangeable. This is just the perfect way to think about it. A const is like a fundamental law of your program's universe. I mean, the value of pi isn't going to change from one calculation to the next, right? It's a universal truth. Same thing goes for a const field. It's known, it's absolute, and it applies everywhere in your program. And here's what that looks like in the wild. When you write this line, public const double pi, you're basically telling the C# compiler, hey, listen up. Anywhere you see the word pi in my code, I want you to just swap it out with the number 3.14159. That value gets baked right into the compiled code itself. So that's const. Now let's bring in our second guardian. This one is less of a universal law and a bit more like a dedicated protector for a very specific situation. Let's meet the read-only keyword. So the huge difference here is flexibility. See, unlike const, which is set at compile time, a read-only variable gets its value at runtime. Yep, when the program is actually running. You can set it when you declare it, or, and this is where it gets really powerful, inside the class's constructor. I absolutely love this analogy. Just think about it. Every security guard at a museum gets their own unique badge number when they're created, when they're hired. That number is assigned one time, and it never changes for that specific guard. But a new guard hired tomorrow, they're going to get a different unique badge number. And you can see exactly how this works in the code. The badge number is declared as read-only, but its actual value gets set when a new museum security object is created through its constructor. Once that constructor is done running for a particular guard object, that badge number is locked in forever for that specific object. Okay, so we've met our two guardians. Now it's time for the main event, the showdown. Let's put them side by side and really nail down what makes them different. Let's just break this down, because this is the whole ballgame right here. The number one difference is initialization. Const is compile time. Read-only is runtime. And that one thing changes everything else. Because const is set so early, it's inherently static. It belongs to the class itself, not to any one object. Read-only, on the other hand, is instance-based. It belongs to a specific object. So what does that mean? It means every part of your code shares the exact same value for pi, but every single security guard object can have its own unique badge number. So with all that in mind, how in the world do you choose the right guardian for the job?
because understanding when to use them is just as important as knowing what they do.
Okay, here's your playbook. It's actually pretty simple. If the value is a true, unchanging, universal constant, like a math value or a fixed conversion factor from miles to kilometers, you're going to use const. You know that value before you even write a single line of code. But if the value needs to be set when an object is created, like a unique ID or the exact timestamp that object came into existence, and then it needs to stay that way for the rest of that object's life, then read-only is your perfect protector.
And that quote really just captures the spirit of it all, doesn't it? These aren't just random C-sharp features. They're tools you use to build safer, more predictable, and way more reliable applications. They're the guardians that stop accidental changes and make the intention of your code crystal clear to anyone who reads it.
So choosing wisely between const and read-only, that's a huge step towards code integrity. But it kind of makes you think, what other features of C Sharp, or really any language you use, act like these guardians? What other tools help you write safer, more robust code? That's a really powerful idea to think about as you keep building your skills. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.